Thank you, Jerry. You'd actually, Newfoundland itself is full of Irishmen because prior to joining Canada as a country after World War II, it was populated with Irish. Bit of trivia. So moving on, okay. So Newfoundland's on the east coast of Canada. Rob, in his presentation, showed you the map of Canada, which showed you where it is. Just to point out who else is on there, because I'm sure most of you don't even know what exploration is going on in Newfoundland. So Newfound gold, market cap of $500 million, zero resources, but getting cracking intercepts, 19 meters at 92 gram per ton. Doing greenfields exploration on the island. You've then got Marathon Gold with 4 million ounce deposit in final study phases, moving into project development in the next 12 to 18 months. Their project is on the Cape Ray Shear, which is where our tenements are as well. 50 kilometers south of their deposit, our tenements start and extend for over 120 kilometers. Within that, we've got 837,000 ounces of resource, but only within a 7.5 kilometer radius. So 15 kilometers out of 120 hosts our 840,000 ounces. The rest, the other 105 kilometers, I'll talk about later. So within this area, we've just completed our 2020 drill, at the end of 2020, we completed our 2020 drill program, 10,500 meters of diamond drilling. Great results for our first year of actual active on-ground exploration, despite COVID. In the south, you've got Angus. This is an area which is the first discovery in 20 years along this belt. Previous holders of these tenements didn't put in the exploration and never made the new discoveries. This last year, we put in the effort, we did ground mag surveys, identified new targets, followed them up with drilling, and we hit 20 meters at 2.4 gram per ton. In gram meters for you geologists, that's 45 gram meters as a discovery hole. We've expanded the drilling around that new discovery, and it's now 450 meters east-west and 300 meters north to south, and still open in all directions, because it's the first year that we've drilled this target. It's only 1 kilometer away from our known resource of Window Glass Hill. At Window Glass Hill, this year we focused on brownfields exploration to expand the footprint, which we've extended to the southwest, as well as to increase the confidence of what we have there. That drill hole is the most recent drill hole that we've announced from Window Glass Hill. And if you just take time to look at those numbers, this is one drill hole, 10.5 meters at 2.4 gram per ton, and then 1 meter at 5 gram per ton, and then 7 meters at 7 gram per ton, and then 2 meters at 7 gram per ton, all from the same drill hole. This was a drill hole that drilled down through the system to test the extent of the mineral source model that we had. The final 2 meters at 7 gram per ton is not in the current drill, in the current mineral source model that we have for the Window Glass Hill. This is a new system that we've hit below the current pit shell design. Those other 3 intercepts are wider and higher grade than what we've got in the current resource model. So we've completed the drilling at Window Glass Hill, and we will be assessing what the impact of that is on our current resource model. Further to the north of this small area that we've tested this year is Isle of Mort. And again, look at those assays that we've got. 18 meters at 11 gram per ton, close to 200 gram meters. 200 meters at 5 gram, 20 meters at 5 gram and 19 meters at 4.6. 100 gram meter intercepts. Fantastic intercepts on an area that has not had the systematic exploration that most West Australian projects do have. With that current resource, we have done a scoping study, and exactly what Graham had said earlier, a scoping study just gives you an indication of what the economics look like for this project and does it warrant further study and further work. And if you look at the scoping study metrics, and I'm not a geologist, I'm a financial background, so to me the key ratios are what's your life of mine relative to your payback period. Here we have a 7-year life of mine with a payback period of just over 1 year. Tick that box, it makes sense. The second one is what does your NPV look like compared to your capital spend? Here we've got an NPV of just under $280 million compared to a CapEx of just under $150 million. Almost 2 times. Tick that box. And the other one is IRR relative to your cost of debt and your cost of equity. And certainly tick that at an IRR of 78%. But it is just a scoping study, and it is just a 7-year mine life. And with the drilling that we're currently doing at the moment, we are expanding the resources, which will expand the mine life. And as I showed you on that previous map, this is all within a 7.5 kilometer radius, all within simple trucking distance of a central process plant. Our aim is to grow this resource up to around 10-year mine life, around 100,000 ounces per year, because to me that is a critical size to get to before you press the button on any further development. So we should proceed with the PFS on the back of exploration in 2021, subject to not having capped out the resource. If we continue to expand the resources, let's keep exploring before we do the PFS. And the environmental study work is carrying on in parallel. But what attracted me to join Matador wasn't the 837,000 ounces or the 7.5 kilometer radius area. It was the full 120 strike kilometers of untested area. So if you look at our resource pyramid, this area is the 7.5 kilometer radius. These are all the targets which have never been tested before, which fall within the 120 strike kilometers. The reason why this has never been tested before is because the current resources is where the mineralization outcrops at surface. The previous holders of these tenements never explored undercover. And for the West Australian geologists in the room, you're going to be very surprised by the next statement. When I'm talking cover here, I'm talking 0.5 meter to 5 meters. As we know in Western Australia, when we're talking cover, we're talking 100 meters to 200 meters. And the best discoveries in Australia have been made undercover. No exploration has occurred here undercover. We've got 105 kilometers. So where our current resources end at Isle of Mort, from there onwards, 105 kilometers, there are 20 historic diamond drill holes. To put that into a Western Australian context, from Kalgoorlie up to Menzies, 20 historic diamond drill holes. No further follow-up work done. And in those 20 drill holes, a large number of them were never assayed for gold. So we've got a new exploration manager called Warren Potmer, who's climbed into the historical data, which is limited because the original explorers here weren't looking for gold. He's looked at the historical data, looked at the rock chips, which are these numbers down here. He's looked at the aeromag, which was based on 200 meter spaced lines, and he's come up with 33 new targets which have never been tested. We've ranked and prioritized them, and we'll start testing them in 2021. We're going to fly aeromag at around 30 meter spaced lines on the belt to kick the program off. We'll follow that up with auger drilling to drill through this shallow transported material, get top of fresh samples, and send away for multi-element assays. We'll then follow that up with diamond drilling. And the proof of concept is the discovery that we made at Angus in 2020. First discovery in 20 years, but that was within the 7.5 kilometer radius. What we're excited about is let's test beyond the 7.5 kilometer radius. If you just look at our peers in the area, obviously there are 3 Australians on that board, together with the 2 Canadians. Marathon, 4 million ounce deposit, fantastic, already at post-PFS, now doing their final feasibility study, and they should be in development in the next 12 to 18 months, but sitting at a significant market cap of $634 million. Newfound Gold, which only listed in August, market cap of $460 million, but 0 resources. Doing greenfields exploration, however, when they do a step out, they step out 10 meters. 10 meters. When we do a step out, we're stepping out kilometers. So we are doing true Australian-driven greenfields exploration in this highly prospective area. When you look at the value per resource, EV per resource, we're sitting at $64 an ounce compared to our peers. Very undervalued, but to me, the real upside is what we can deliver through the drill bit across this untested 105-kilometer strike length. So in conclusion, we're sitting on cash, $8 million at the end of December. We were the first Australian company to do a full charity flow-through raising last year, which allowed us to raise capital at a 45% premium to market. The Canadian model works very, very well. As a company, we raise money at a premium, but that money has to get spent on exploration in the region that we operate. So the drilling companies benefit, the geologists benefit, and the charities that we raise the money through all benefit. I wish the Australian federal government would take a good look at this model. So we've got the cash, we've got the programs lined up for 2021. We're in a first world jurisdiction, which is low risk. Access to infrastructure is right there. The project that we've got already, the scoping study showed that the payback is good, the economics are good, but for the real upside is the rest of this belt and the exploration upside across this belt, doing structured, systematic exploration, which we all know Australian geologists do very well. So we are at booth number 29. Please come through and speak to clever geologists, not non-geologists that's on the stage. We've got clever geologists at the booth who can talk to you in big words, whatever you want, and they can give you the detail that you need from a geological perspective. Thanks very much.